So here we are again. Meghan Markle, front and center in the headlines. And honey, it is not because of a red carpet sleigh or another podcast rollout. Oh no. This time, it's messier. We're talking about royal drama that's so heavy, even King Charles is rumored to be reaching for the royal nuke button. And baby, he might just press it. You heard that right. Word from inside the palace is that Charles is done playing Mr. Nice Monarch. He's reportedly seriously considering stripping Meghan of her Royal Highness title. Yes, the very title that Queen Elizabeth explicitly said should never be used again in public once Harry and Meghan pieced out of their royal roles. And now Charles sees that promise crumbling faster than a soggy biscuit in tea. Let's rewind a little. It all started bubbling when Meghan decided to dip her toes again into the world of entrepreneurship. This time, she's eyeing the hospitality game. Sounds harmless, right? A little jam business, some cozy vibes, cute packaging, but oh no, there's a twist. Reports say Meghan's team sent out business gifts labeled with compliments of HRH, the Duchess of Sussex. Excuse me? Did we just time travel back to Buckingham Palace? That's the title Queen Elizabeth asked her to stop using. This wasn't a slip-up. This was a whole declaration of defiance. And people inside the palace absolutely losing it. Grant Harold, King Charles's former butler, the guy who probably knows Charles's tea preferences better than his own mother, didn't even bother sugarcoating it. He dragged Meghan's business sense and hospitality skills in one savage swipe. Said she's about as warm as the reptile house at the zoo. Ouch, but honestly, he's not wrong. The bigger issue, Meghan seems to be banking on a royal title she supposedly left behind. She and Harry promised not to use HRH titles for anything public or commercial. That was the handshake deal. The royal truce. And now we've got monogram jam jars and glossy gift tags screaming royal like it's a Bridgerton promo. It's not just a branding faux pas. It's a full-blown slap in the face to the institution that gave her that title in the first place. And Charles? He's not turning the other cheek anymore. For years, he kept things classy. He let the Sussexes roam free, stayed diplomatic, avoided the drama, but baby, that patience, running thinner than Prince William's hairline, the constant bending of royal rules is starting to look less like grace and more like weakness. Let's be real. The late Queen's decision to let them keep the HRH titles but not use them publicly, it was meant as a gesture of kindness, a way to soften the blow of stepping down. But now, that kindness is biting the crown right in its bejeweled backside. And Meghan, oh Meghan, is clinging to those titles like her brand depends on it. Because guess what? It kinda does. She's branding correspondence, stationery, even social media posts with the HRH tag like it's a designer label. Every shout out has a sprinkle of monarchy. It's like she believes the letters HRH are what give her identity now, all while talking about being strong, independent, liberated. Sis, which is it? This isn't female empowerment. This is codependency on a crown she publicly ran from. And Harry? People close to him say he's low-key embarrassed, that he's uncomfortable with Meghan flexing those titles, especially after she dragged the Queen in that Netflix series. But if that wasn't his line in the sand, what is at this point? He's fading into the background, a side character in his own royal drama, powerless, quiet, maybe even ashamed. And if you thought that jam label was bold, buckle up, because it gets worse. Meghan reposted a thank you letter from a Ukrainian official that referred to her as Her Royal Highness on her Instagram story. That's not a private thank you note. That's a calculated public flex. And everyone saw it, including Charles. It was deliberate. It was loud. It was her way of saying, I still got it. And the palace? Baby, they're boiling. This isn't about homemade preserves anymore. This is about a slow, calculated erosion of boundaries. It's about using pastel packaging and sweet aesthetics to mask a full-blown rebellion. Because Meghan knows exactly what she's doing. Every HRH she slips into a letter, every Duchess of Sussex signed onto a tag. It's a middle finger to the agreement she made. She got the royal aesthetic without the royal duties. She walked away, yet somehow still walks like she owns the place. And the palace? They've stayed quiet for years, hoping she'd ease up, hoping the media would move on. But Meghan's not slowing down, she's doubling down. Grant Harold isn't just talking to hear himself speak. His comments are a warning. He knows Charles, and he knows that once Charles gets fed up, it's game over. Let's not pretend this would be some radical royal punishment either. It's been done before. Sarah Ferguson lost her HRH after her divorce. Princess Diana gave hers up too. And Charles' own brother, Prince Andrew, That man's titles vanish faster than his public credibility. So yes, Charles could sign one royal document and poof, Meghan's HRH is history. No parliament, no drama, just one flick of the pen. But here's the real kicker. Meghan's entire brand is built on the idea of royalty. She doesn't need to claim she's a working royal. The subtle hints do the heavy lifting. A monogram box here, a titled envelope there. It's all suggestion. And suggestion is power. Take that away, and she's just Meghan again. And that's the real loss. Not the crown, the clout. Of course, Meghan's team will spin it. They'll say, technically, she's not doing anything wrong. The Queen said they could keep the titles, just don't use them officially or commercially. And Meghan's people will argue that reposting an Instagram story or sending a letter isn't commercial. But come on now. We all see what's really going on. This is branding. This is monetizing. This is royalty as marketing. Whether it's Jam, a wellness brand, or a future hotel empire, Meghan's playing the long game. She knows what the title does. It adds sparkle, legitimacy, global curiosity. But the backlash? It's getting loud. Not just tabloids, everyday people, royal watchers. Even supporters are side-eyeing her moves. They're tired of the contradiction, tired of watching a woman who claims to reject the crown continue to build her empire on its foundation. It's starting to feel less like ambition and more like hypocrisy. And Charles, he has to answer for it, because every day he stays silent, the monarchy looks weaker, like it's being held hostage by brand Sussex. And then that repost from the Ukrainian vice president? Baby, that was the final straw. It wasn't a mistake. It was a chess move. She knew the world would see it, and she didn't care. That wasn't diplomacy. That was defiance. So now Charles is cornered. Either he lets this circus continue or he cuts the cord. And from what insiders are whispering, Charles is done handing out olive branches. This isn't about being a gentle king anymore. It's about defending the crown. Because let's be honest, the monarchy isn't being modernized, it's being merchandised. See, the problem isn't Meghan wanting to make something of herself, it's how she's doing it. Masking personal ambition behind royal influence she swore she was done with. If she truly wanted independence, she'd stand on her own name. But no, every product, every press moment, every venture still rides that royal coattail. This isn't reinvention, it's rebranding the monarchy into a Meghan-centric business model. And Charles, he's finally realizing this isn't a phase, it's a pattern. A long-term play where Meghan gets to wear the tiara without ever attending the ball. And if Charles lets that slide, what does it say about the crown? This isn't about feminism. It's not about Meghan being too modern for the palace. Let's cut the noise. It's about boundaries. Meghan knew the deal. Keep the titles, but don't exploit them. She nodded. She smiled. She left. But then came the packaging. The labels, the press drops, and now she's basically waving the royal flag for Montecito like it's her personal brand logo. This isn't rebellion, this is opportunism, draped in lace and filtered through Instagram. And the pressure, it's not just on Meghan now, it's bearing down hard on King Charles. His reign is fresh, new, and already it's being tested. Everyone's watching. Will he continue this soft-gloved approach, or finally flex the authority the crown demands? For a man often criticized for being too diplomatic, this is his moment, his line in the sand, his chance to remind the world that the monarchy isn't a side hustle. It's not a brand, it's a centuries-old institution, one that demands respect, not retweets. Because if the titles mean nothing, what's left? Tradition? Trampled. Rules? Rewritten. Respect? Shrinking. Charles has spent years trying to be the calm in the royal storm, but Meghan's storm clouds, they just keep rolling in. No pause, no mercy. And let's not forget, if the king wanted to go all the way, he could push for something bigger than just removing HRH. He could, with the help of Parliament, snatch away the Duke and Duchess of Sussex titles altogether. Let that sink in. If that happens, Meghan wouldn't even be the Duchess of Sussex. She'd be Princess Henry. Yes, you heard right. Stripped of her own title, defined only by her husband's name, a name she's been trying to separate from for years. The poetic irony, unmatched. Imagine the woman who built her brand on independence, feminism, and empowerment suddenly being legally branded by a man's name. That would be a PR fallout worse than the Oprah interview. But more than that, it would expose the truth, that none of this was ever about stepping away. It was about stepping around finding a loophole, walking out the palace door, but keeping the keys in your pocket just in case. And Meghan's projects? None of them have flown on their own. The podcast came and went with more press than listeners. The lifestyle brand? Still teasing. The rumored hotel empire? Based more on speculation than substance. What they all have in common? That royal aroma, that suggestion of prestige. The titles, the seals, the HRH sprinkles. It's all been part of the act. In her defenders, they'll say she's just being smart, that this is how the game is played. But at what cost? Because let's not forget, Meghan and Harry left, they didn't get kicked out, they chose freedom, they chose peace. But they didn't leave empty-handed. They walked out with a deal, a compromise, titles intact but boundaries drawn. And now, those boundaries look more like guidelines, optional, negotiable, disposable. And poor Harry, he's just watching it all crumble. The once favored prince, the relatable royal who connected with veterans, who loved Africa, who broke protocol with hugs and handshakes, he's disappeared behind a wall of brand deals and red carpet poses. His interviews feel robotic. His public moments, scripted. There's no spark anymore, no joy. It's like watching someone live in slow motion while his entire legacy drifts away. And the worst part? He can't or won't stop it. And so, all eyes fall on King Charles. What he does next isn't just about Meghan. It's about the entire future of the monarchy. Because if Charles doesn't make a move now, when does he? When Meghan launches a fragrance line called Windsor Whisper, when she starts giving speeches under a royal crest, when she throws a Sussex-themed gala with HRH embossed on the invitations, at what point is enough enough? Because this isn't just about press releases and packaging. It's about protecting something sacred, something bigger than any one person. Titles aren't just fancy add-ons. They carry centuries of history. They symbolize duty, responsibility, and trust. You can't dilute that and expect the crown to stay intact. And once they lose their meaning, it's gone forever. This isn't revenge. This isn't personal. It's principle. It's about showing the world and everyone inside that family that being royal isn't a costume. You don't get to play dress up with titles and then cry foul when people call it out. You don't get to reject the crown and then use it like a prop. And Meghan? If she loses the HRH, it won't be punishment, it'll be consequence. Consequence for treating a royal agreement like a business contract with loopholes. And if Charles really wants to send a message, he'll go for the dukedom next. He'll take more steps, more signatures, maybe even parliament, but it's doable. And when that day comes, Meghan won't be Her Royal Highness. She won't be the Duchess of Sussex. She'll just be Meghan, or worse, for her brand, Princess Henry. And the world, oh, they'll notice, because this isn't just a royal couple anymore. It's a royal saga, a Shakespearean drama in real time, and the curtain is about to fall on Act 1. What comes next? That's up to King Charles, but one thing is clear. If he lets this slide again, he might lose more than just respect. He might lose the very grip on the monarchy that he waited decades to inherit. So the question isn't, will Charles strip Meghan of her title? The real question is, what's he waiting for? Because at this point, it's not just royal payback, it's royal protection. And baby, the clock is ticking.